Hello, beautiful sacred souls. My name is Allison Caps of Blossoming Heart Wellness, author of The Divine Within, Healing Ourselves to Heal the World. And in this video series, we have been exploring the concept of vibration, low and high. And so today we're going to discuss how you can be healed and still face hard things. So you can have a high vibrational energy and still come into contact with experiences that are low vibe. So here's the truth that is often ignored in spirituality. Even the most healed people still experience challenge. Look at the concept of Yeshua or Jesus, who was supposedly a healed state in direct connection with God consciousness. He used to say that the Father and him were one, or the Creator and him were one. It was interpreted as masculine, but the Aramaic actually means gender neutral, just creator. So even though he was considered one and at the ultimate healed state, he still was murdered on the cross. So this is an example how you can be a high vibe individual and still come into contact with traumatic things. So in this channel, I explore healing, trauma recovery, spirituality, and consciousness through a trauma-informed, psychologically grounded lens. What I share comes from my lived experience, my education, my healing journey, and my understanding of neuroscience, trauma, and spiritual integration. It is not meant to be absolute fact or truth. It is meant to just open conversation. Nothing here is meant to diagnose, replace therapy, medical care, or your own discernment. I invite you to take what resonates and to leave what doesn't. You are always the authority on your own experience. You may hear me use spiritual language, symbolic imagery, or speak about mystical experiences. Spiritual experiences can be meaningful and real, and they must be held with grounding, discernment, and nervous system safety. If anything you hear activates fear, urgency, contraction, grandiosity, or distress, that is an indication to ground, pause, and seek support, not to push through. That is an indication that either something in the teaching is coming from a wound inside me, or a wound inside yourself is coming to the surface to be looked at. So I invite you to get curious. My intention is not to awaken, to save, or to heal anyone, but to share what has helped me reconnect with my body, my agency, my humanity, and inner divinity. So you can decide what supports your own path. That said, something I say may support your awakening or your healing journey. So let's begin. This is a script that I have written, so I hope you'll stay tuned. So healing changes your response, not your experience. Healing doesn't make life easy, it makes you capable. You gain resilience, clarity, boundaries, emotion regulation, emotional maturity, and intuition. Hard things are not evidence of spiritual failure. You didn't attract illness, conflict, or loss because you were somehow low vibe. Life includes uncertainty and change. Healing doesn't remove contrast. It gives you the tools to navigate it. So what does healing actually protect you from? And what does high vibe mean? It doesn't mean that you'll never experience pain. What it means is you will no longer self-abandon. You will no longer act from fear. You will stop repeating cycles that are unhealthy and re-traumatizing. You will no longer stay in environments that are toxic or unhealthy or do not respect your needs, feelings, and boundaries. And you will no longer collapse into feelings of shame. So let's try a body scan to sense your level of resilience. I invite you to tune into a part of your body that feels grounded and neutral. And I invite you to breathe into that and imagine that that is your anchor. And just notice what happens as you put all of your attention on an area that feels grounded or neutral. This is evidence of what resilience feels like in real time. It is when you can feel the grounded neutrality of support, even though there might be other areas that are feeling contraction or discomfort. This is you remembering that you yourself are the healed state, but you might have aspects of yourself that hold wounds. So, in short, life may still challenge you, but healing means you meet those challenges with your true self intact. That's why I invite you to do your inner healing work. As always, I think it is important to note that mystical experiences, symbolic dreams, and spiritual insights are deeply personal, as is healing. They are best understood slowly, with grounding, and often with trauma-informed professional or community support. True spiritual and psychological growth does not disconnect us from reality. It actually helps us inhabit it more fully. I do not offer private spiritual guidance or psychological guidance, diagnoses, or personal interpretation through comments or messages. If you are navigating intense emotional or psychological or spiritual experiences, I invite you to seek trauma-informed professional care or trusted support. That said, I do offer mentorship through my website, blossomingheartwellness.com. And my book, The Divine Within, Healing Ourselves to Heal the World, is a possible resource to support your healing journey. Thank you for being here, for honoring your unique nervous system, and for choosing a path that is rooted in compassion, discernment, and embodied truth. I invite you to take gentle care of yourself. I'll see you in the next video, and I love you.